right. Should be live. What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's having a good night. Think we're live. Starting the stream a little bit early this week, but we're going to go a little bit longer. So it might be a 2-hour stream instead of an hour and a half stream today. It just kind of depends on, how many people we get in here and how much there is to talk about. So we might go a little bit longer today. We're just going to see. I'm a little bit early, so we're going to wait for some people to get in here. So if you're watching this as a video later, not live, you can skip ahead because probably wait for a couple more people to get in here. Yo, what's up, Smug Plays? What's up, Drake? How y'all doing tonight? Make sure I have my phone ready. Alright. Should be good for the call-in. I've been watching this Pitt-Carolina game. Pitt is kicking some booty right now. My day has been really good, man. How's yours been? Had a great Veterans Day. I was just chilling. My brothers had off school. Chilled with them a little bit. It was a really fun day. Wasn't really doing anything right now, so I thought hop on the stream an hour early and probably go a little bit longer tonight. So just see. Just downloaded Vanguard and playing the campaign now. Yo, that's lit. I have Vanguard. It's pretty good. I haven't played COD that much like the past 2 years, so I didn't play much of Cold War. I didn't play much of Modern Warfare. So yeah, I'm kind of getting back into it with Vanguard. So it's I kind of like it. I haven't played the campaign. Just been playing the multiplayer a little bit. Yeah, this Pitt game is legit. Like, well, at least Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett is nice, man. Like, I don't want to get too crazy, but just watching him play a little bit, like, I'm seeing flashes of Justin Herbert at Oregon. Like, it kind of reminds me of that, and he's just a beast, man. He really carries that team. Like, Pitt's defense has been great, but yeah. Cold War was your first COD outside of Warzone. Enjoying it so far? Yeah. I mean, I was huge on COD, growing up. Like, when I was in middle school, it was Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 3. Those were my first CODs. My first COD was Modern Warfare 3, then Black Ops 2. And, I sucked at the game. I was just young, but they were fun, yeah. And oh, we got a call. Hold on, I don't even have my headset plugged in, so whoever's calling, give me 1 second. I'm a little bit unprepared. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man, shit, you on the live stream?
Yes, sir.
Man, shit, this is Cold Shield 21, man. I've been seeing your live stream on college football, man. That Jones been going hard and everything, man.
Yo, thanks, man. Thanks, man. I've been seeing your comments. I appreciate it.
Yeah, much love, though, man. I tell you, man, dude, college football has been, like, it's been very intriguing. It ain't like 2007 where, like, top 10 teams, just out of the top 10, like, for example, like, Georgia's still number one. In 2007, like, number one teams just be losing, like, the top seed after that one.
That was something else, man. New number one almost every week. That was how it was going.
For real. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been one of the more crazier years, at least recently. I don't think that Georgia is on the same. Like, I think that they're the clear number one, of course, but I don't think that they're on the level of last year's Alabama team or 2019 LSU's team. I don't think they're on that level.
Yeah, shit, man, shit. Like a lot of people would argue that though, man. But shit. But what's interesting though is like the teams that just now get into like the top 20s. Like you talking about like the Road Runners, like San Antonio,
Yeah,
a very interesting team. We got Purdue up in there. I definitely want to talk about them because Purdue has definitely been intriguing to me for like last week because they beat Michigan State. The way they beat them, they showed me they could actually be a top 10 team if only they be that persistent every week. You
yeah,
feel
they
me?
they need to show that consistency for sure. It's gonna be a tough one against Ohio State and Columbus, but I thought it was crazy that Ohio State was favored by 21 points. Like, that's too much. That's way too much.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely
Oh,
going to be within 10, 14 at most if Ohio
for
State
real
wins.
though, dude.
But
Yeah, because like they conference rivals, so like in order to have that to be favored by that much by a conference rival, you had to be you definitely got to like fill up the hype and everything. You
yeah,
definitely
that's
got to
going to
be
light a
that
fire
good.
under Purdue for sure.
For real though. I actually think they can win though.
I
I
think
think
they
they can win.
can.
It might be a close game. It might be a close game because Ohio State don't want to suffer the same fate Michigan State do. I actually hope Purdue actually wins just so this can look good for them like next season. So that way they can get a jump start if they do get in the top 20. Because I know like if they do get in the top 25, especially with recruiting and everything, and they go based off of like this current season, if they can win out, shit, they might be looking at the top 25, like next beginning of next start of season and everything though, man. But man, I'm telling you, if they do beat Ohio State, this definitely got to get Cincinnati back in the top three.
Yeah, I'm
For
all
sure.
for Purdue winning. I want as much chaos to go on in the playoff race like as possible. Like, I want to be I want to see how they try to keep Cincinnati out whenever one of the teams ahead of them lose. Like,
Right.
if Ohio State loses to Purdue, like, it would not surprise me if all of a sudden, because Oklahoma plays Baylor this week, if Oklahoma beats Baylor, if they just go ahead and put Oklahoma at 4 and leave Cincinnati at 5. It would not surprise me.
Indeed.
But
Indeed. And right now, like, I'm looking at the game. I'm looking at the game highlights. I see Pittsburgh is actually like up 23-7 on North Carolina
yeah,
now.
Kenny
So actually,
Pickett's a
like,
dog.
Pittsburgh actually wins. And it's crazy too because the games they lost this season, if they actually had won them, I mean, shit, they actually be looking good right now. If only they had won the rest of their games that they didn't lose. It's just like them,
Yeah,
Texas A&M, Ole Miss. If they hadn't lost any
yeah,
of the games like early season, man, like they be looking pretty good right now. I mean, we have a lot. I mean, this probably is like the second best college football season since 2007, in my opinion.
I agree.
Based on like everything is just all over the place. You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, I
Because
was real young in that 2007 season, but I'm a WVU fan, and we were right about to make the championship that year, and then of course Pitt, big rivalry game, beats us and robs us of that championship. And even though I was so young, I just remember, my whole town just it sucked.
right because
Yeah.
yeah, because like that was all way back when West Virginia was like the Big East Conference
Yep. We
with
had Pat
Cincinnati
White.
and
Oh my
Louisville.
God, I miss it.
I mean, see, I actually think they should bring it back. The Big East Conference, if they can revamp a little things with the conference, like all the teams that's considered the Big East, they just have them all
Yeah.
all like connected. especially when we got like teams like Villanova, Connecticut, just any football team in the East have a whole Big East conference, and then like actually, and that's interesting too because like Kentucky and Indiana is like the same. They're like in the same region as well. They kind of close as well too,
Yeah,
but
all
they
the
kind of like be
old
like north.
Big East teams. I mean, if we could get them together, I mean, it would be a hell of a basketball conference. But
For real, because
if we could get
because
Syracuse in there,
basketball they just
Louisville,
good.
all the old, bring Cincinnati in. I mean, anyone.
Right, man. Because like man, like cause like ever since like West Virginia got into like the Big 12, I mean they had like few good seasons with Tavon Austin and them. Like I can't
Yeah,
remember every single player
we
from
had
like all the eras from the Big 12 back when Tavon Austin and them played. Cause like I was pretty young in 2007 myself. Like and me now I'm like 26, so
yeah.
you feel me. So
Yeah,
it's
our
like
last
man, like
real good year, we had Will Greer at quarterback. I think we finished 9-3 and got a bowl win, so probably 10-3. So it wasn't a bad year, but we just haven't been. We haven't had. That was our best year since joining the Big 12. I mean, even whenever we did have Tavon and them boys, we never got more than like 8 wins in the Big 12. So it's been tough.
yeah, for sure, man. Like I tell you, man, like man, cause like bro, like and what's so interesting to me is like, cause me like when it comes to college football, like me actually being from like the Northwest region, you feel me, all the way Northern California, Oregon, Washington,
Yeah,
you know, and like me, like I always just been a person. I just always been a person that's a fan of like any team that can actually like surprise everybody. So it's like, even though I'm like all the way from the Northwest, I always been like a Toledo fan, a Toledo Rockets fan. That's all the way out in the MAC conference. There's always teams like Ohio,
oh yeah,
Northern Illinois, Kent State, Akron. You feel me?
yeah,
And it's like teams like that, like teams in those conferences, they be having the potential to actually being great teams, but it's like they don't actually get a chance to like fulfill them and like get up to their potential because of the coaching staffs and all that stuff. That's why they don't be looking as good as the other teams. But when you see them practice and stuff like that, it's like, dang, these guys are really good. I don't see why they can't be winning. You feel me?
yeah.
It's,
I agree.
it's
I
just
mean,
like that.
I'm a West Virginia fan. I cheer for Marshall down there, just a couple hours from me. And
Right.
growing up, I mean, not anymore, but like just as a young kid, I loved watching Boise State get to a bowl game and just beat these powerhouses in college football. Like whenever they beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, I think that was actually 2007 season.
Yeah, it sure
And
was. Like it was like the Fiesta Bowl, and that wasn't even a national title game because like it was the other games. I think it was between Florida and Ohio State. I think
yeah,
that was a national title game, but like Oklahoma and Boise State, that's like one of the best games in college football history. And speaking of Boise State, they actually beat Fresno State this season.
they beat
You feel me?
BYU too
Cause
this year. They
for real,
yeah they're better than what their record shows this year. Boise is.
that's what I'm saying, man.
I think they've
Like they
had a
just one of them
couple
teams.
injuries. I'm not for sure, but I think yeah. If they
For
if they
real
get a
though,
good
man.
matchup in a bowl
Like
game, they got it because they're better than what their record shows this year.
oh yeah, most definitely. Because like the thing about Boise State, like they like one of those teams where it's like you just don't know how you don't know how they're gonna prepare. You don't know which kind of Boise State team you're gonna get. It's like they'll be good for a couple games, and then next couple games they lose, and then just like they just kind of like on and off. So that
Yeah,
kind of will make them be like a team that's like always in the middle of the road and stuff like that. So it's like man, and it's interesting too because like Fresno State in that conference is like they've been having a real good season until
oh
like
yeah,
they lost that game. And I think they lost the other game. I think they lost the other game like early the season as well. I think they had like two
They
losses.
lost to
Like,
Oregon. It was close though. I
for
remember.
real.
Yeah.
Now that's what I'm saying, bro. That's
They
how
they
I
played
see why
Oregon
people be saying
close.
crazy.
So yeah. The
Yep,
Mountain West has been entertaining as hell this year. I've been watching a lot of the Mountain West because Nevada is good this year. They got a good quarterback. Even teams like Utah State and Colorado State haven't been bad. Like the Mountain West has been really good this year.
for real, man. And like Fresno State, I mean, when they play UCLA like earlier this season, man, I was like, yep, it's gonna be one of the best college games in history. Like based on the
It
way the
was one of the
quarterback
best
played.
games of the year for sure. That game was lit.
For
Even
real.
the Fresno State, who they faced? Oh yeah, versus Nevada. That game was crazy. Cause
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
didn't get a chance to see that game because I think which week was that? That was like
that was a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago,
yeah,
and
man. Like
it went down to the wire,
that's what I'm
man.
saying.
Nevada was a
That's what
two
I'm
point
saying. If they
conversion
never
away
lost,
from
bro.
forcing overtime. It was anytime Fresno plays someone good, it's a good game. Like
For real though, man. Like I'm telling you, like it be feeling like actual bowl games. Like it's just like Fresno State versus UCLA. That felt like an actual bowl game. Like it was like back and forth. It's like you didn't know who was actually gonna like get the win at the end.
that's why I
Like their
love
quarterback got injured.
watching a good group of five team go against the Power Five team because you know that that group of five team is going to come out there playing their hardest game because they know that they want to beat that team and get huge like resume points, whatever you want to call it, like if they beat that
For
Power
real.
Five team.
Yeah,
So
for
I
real though.
love to see those
And it's
games.
like exactly, man. It's just like when Cincinnati played Georgia, like in a bowl game before. Like they were so close to. I
Yeah.
think Georgia still won that game by 2 points,
Yeah, it was
but
a
like
last
Cincinnati
second
they
field
kept it
goal, I
close.
think.
Right.
So
And I think, man, if they did play them again, I know Georgia's a different team now, but you feel me. But I think if Cincinnati do get in the playoffs, just like what you've been explaining, like if these non-Power Five teams actually played the Power Five in an actual bowl game, I do think that these non-Power Five teams can actually get a victory. I think Cincinnati has a good chance to actually beat Georgia because I mean, let's think about it. I mean, shoot, even Greenland beat Arizona in a bowl game before, and we talking football. So, what makes you
yeah,
think Cincinnati couldn't actually beat Georgia? You feel me?
yeah,
So,
anything's possible, and I think no one's really talked about looking at it this way, but because they don't really want to give the benefit of the doubt to Cincinnati, but they could be looking ahead to the playoff right now, and that's why they're barely beating these not so great teams in the AAC. Like they could be trying to
right,
look ahead. I mean, they're coming up here to number 5. They jumped a spot even though they barely beat Tulsa. Maybe that'll kind of open their eyes. Like they can actually get in if they went out and beat SMU and beat Houston. These teams they need to beat to really get in. Those will be the games.
yeah, yeah. I think they got. I feel like they have a definitely good chance to get in because like we look at the games like Oklahoma versus Baylor, and that's a conference rival game. So
Yeah, Oklahoma's got
Oklahoma. I
their
mean,
3 hardest
they
games coming up.
yeah, they look like a team that could probably lose the rest of their games based on like the games they got left in the season. Because I know Baylor lost to TCU, it was a close one, and they kind of looking not to like have the same results with Oklahoma, so they gonna be playing
Yeah,
their best football versus Oklahoma. If they actually get a victory on them, man, Cincinnati can move on up, and then like I already told myself I have a feeling that Oklahoma State's gonna beat Oklahoma
I
sooner
like
because
Oklahoma
like
State this year. I just watched them
yeah.
destroy my team last week, WVU. We only put up 3 points on them the whole game, and we were at home. It
I know, bro. They
that
defense was pretty dang good though
I
because
thought
they hold.
they opened my eyes this week because I thought Oklahoma State's defense was kind of like an Iowa defense where they relied on getting turnovers and interceptions, but they can stop the
Right.
run and they can get to the quarterback. They can sack the quarterback. They're a really good defense, like well rounded.
For real though, man, because like check this out. If they was undefeated right now, if they hadn't lost that one game and they played that same kind of defense the way they did versus Kansas and West Virginia, they might be actually looking at being they actually be a spot above Oklahoma because,
Yeah,
you know, they like the same kind of caliber of schools, So
yeah.
it's like
Especially because
I
of
think
how close Oklahoma played Kansas, and then Oklahoma State just blew them out.
for real though. And like in my opinion, this is probably like when we talk about those two teams, you feel me? If I had to say a team with one loss is better than an undefeated team, based on what we saw like for the last two games, I would say Oklahoma State is better than Oklahoma Sooners, even though they got one loss.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
like they play better versus Kansas, man. Kansas
yeah.
and
I mean,
Kansas about
Kansas.
to be they
I
about to
will say
upset
they
them,
were
man. They
pulling
about
out some trick plays and doing some wild stuff, but still, like, I do not trust Oklahoma's defense, even if they do go undefeated. I don't think they are, but even if they do go undefeated, I don't think Oklahoma wins a playoff game against anyone.
oh no. I
There's
don't
no
see
way,
it either, man.
because their defense
That
just
would
isn't
surprise me.
good.
That would be so crazy if they actually do go undefeated and they actually play their best football in the playoffs
Yeah,
and they wasn't like really trying to like be focused on the regular season, but they do actually show up and be the all of a sudden turn to the best team ever in the playoffs. That'd be crazy. But I don't see it though.
nah,
That's like
they
1%
they
they
don't
actually
even
do.
win playoff games with Kyler Murray. Like, so
For
it's
real though.
like I don't see it happening this year, but they need to get some defense. And to go undefeated, they're probably going to have to beat Oklahoma State twice because they'll have to play them in the Big 12 championship too. And
Oh
I,
yeah, most definitely.
I don't think they beat them twice. I could see them splitting.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
and then I don't
that's
think either
that's
one of
that's
them
the
get
most
in if that
possibility.
happens.
For real though, man. Cause like, cause like just for this one season, like if it ain't like non-power five schools to get in, I actually want Cincinnati to get in and win the whole thing. Just because like heck, if Toledo can't be in it, or like freaking who else is good? San Antonio Roadrunners,
Yeah,
which is an undefeated team,
they're not going to
and
get
yet
in, but it is fun to see. They're going to get.
it's
I mean, if they go
crazy.
undefeated, they might give them a New Year's Six bowl, but they won't put them in the playoff.
For real, it's like for them, man, like the way the new playoff system got to work. Like after this season, man,
They
like
need to
any team that's
expand.
undefeated, they need to be the top 3 or 4 teams. Because like I mean, I feel like you got to win all your games to actually you know get in the playoffs. If
Yeah,
we just talk about a top 4 bracket of the undefeated,
I think.
because like we had so many teams be 2 losses and get in the playoffs.
Yeah, like say for example, Texas A&M, they can get in the playoff if they go undefeated because if they beat Georgia in the SEC championship, well, that they'd need Alabama to lose for this to happen.
Oh
Which
yeah,
I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, especially after I seen Auburn play against Texas A&M. I don't think Auburn's going to beat Alabama, so this probably won't happen. But just to say, just for an example of a two loss team getting in, if Alabama lost to Auburn and then Texas A&M won out and beat Georgia in the SEC championship, they'd get in.
yeah.
So
And it's interesting too because yeah, I think Ole Miss. I think they got the same record as Texas A&M, and they playing them this week. They playing in them this week on Saturday too.
yeah,
So it's like Mississippi and Texas A&M. They would have to run the table and get a victory this weekend and have to hope Alabama lose. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah.
because Georgia,
Whoa,
the way they playing, they look like they not gonna lose a game. before the playoff starts, anyways.
I
But that'd be
think
crazy though, because
Ole Miss
that'd
actually
be
needs
crazy. Just
Alabama to
imagine, though.
lose 2 games because they have the head-to-head over them.
Right?
So it'll be tough for Ole Miss, but Texas A&M has a shot. They just need to hope Alabama loses one.
For real, and they've been looking amazing. Like
They
after
have,
after they played Alabama, man, like they look like the team that shows like that playoff caliber type of team, because like and me personally, I don't think this is their best football they played just yet. I don't think this is their
yeah.
best football, and
Yeah,
like,
I
bro,
really like Texas A&M, and just the last few games ever since the Alabama game, and I'm looking forward to watching them play next year because I think next year they have a real shot to go undefeated or be a one-loss SEC champion because their defense is looking
yeah,
good. I don't know how many players they're going to lose from that defense, but if they bring most of them back, it's looking good for them.
for real, because like because like the two losses Texas A&M had, man, like they kind of they kind of it was like the nerves, man, like the nerves kind of got to
Yeah,
them, because they being a ranked team, and like they going against these other ranked teams like Arkansas, and I think they lost to an unranked team. I think it was Mississippi State. And shit, I mean, Mississippi State is good, even though they not ranked, but they're a good team though.
yeah.
But
The entire
you know,
SEC West is really good except LSU, and they're not bad. I mean, we've seen they competed with Alabama, so
yeah,
I mean, they
cause
LSU is
like,
always going to
hey,
have the talent. They're bringing in the 5 stars, so
indeed, cause like when we look at it this way, man, like Texas A&M, if they hadn't lost them games and they be undefeated, they be looking at number 1 and number 2 right now. You feel me? Because
yeah,
like they actually show they could be a number 1 team. If it's any team that would have a chance against Georgia in the SEC, it would have to be them based on the way they playing. Because like they show they can keep up with Alabama for one.
I
They
think
show they can like hold defense and everything.
Texas A&M plays a lot like Georgia, kind of. Like they have a really good front seven on defense, and they like to run the ball. And I mean, Texas A&M's running back is really good too. They have a
Yeah,
squad, and I think their quarterback Calzada, I think he's a freshman too. Like he wasn't even supposed to be the starter this year.
yeah,
So yeah, they're looking real scary. I mean, they're going to need their quarterback. I think he
for
could
real.
even if he could take a little bit of a leap next year, then they're looking good.
For real though, man. Like, and it's interesting too, because like they definitely gonna be the team that I definitely see could be like a top 5 team, like coming in next season based on where they playing now,
Yeah,
and if they recruit pretty well, that's gonna even make it easier being a top 3.
and
You
Jimbo
feel
Fisher's
me?
a good
So it's like,
recruiter. They can do it for sure. Um,
for real
I
though,
think they
man.
can bring in some recruits, and even if they do win out and don't make the playoff because Alabama wins out as well, I could see that they'll probably win their bowl game because they've been playing really good, and not making the playoff probably piss them off a little bit. They'll play hard, and yeah, I can see them
Yeah,
being definitely top 10 next year preseason.
for sure, man. Cause like me, I actually would love to see a new SEC championship games. Because like, I mean, based on earlier this season, man, like Kentucky, they was actually looking really good. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a good football team. Just I feel like when they are trailing, if they trailing behind competition, I feel like they just give up at the end.
I just
I
don't.
feel like that's what is the problem with them. You feel me?
Yeah, Kentucky was looking really good, and then Will Levis, their quarterback, just started turning the ball over way too much, and like he was
For
playing really
real, man.
good. Like I don't know if defenses like figured him out, but ever since the Georgia game, they lost 4 straight. I'm pretty sure, right? They lost to Mississippi
Yeah,
State, Tennessee.
they like 6-3.
Oh, 3 in a row then. Yeah, not 4 in a row.
Yeah, they like 6-3 right now. They
Good
like
news for
5-1 at
them.
home. So
They got Vandy this weekend, so hopefully they can end that losing streak.
yeah,
But
I mean shit, cause Kentucky, you know they show they are a better home team than they are on the road.
yep,
They got like 5 wins this season.
they
It's
played
like they
great at
really
home
need
this year.
home
They beat
field.
Florida and LSU at home. On
Yeah,
the road, they just haven't done well.
for real though, man. I think once they be able to find a way how to like actually get there playing on the road against like top competition, I actually man they actually be a good top team because they
Yeah,
got the flashes of it. It's just I feel like they kind of give up too soon when they playing against like tough competition where it's a ranked team or unranked team. Now I will say this, but a lot of people don't look at. I mean, they did kept Georgia from like putting up 60+ points on them.
yeah,
They
uh,
did kept them to 30 though, so we give them that.
yeah. I think Kentucky, their future as a being a football school, I think it's definitely going in the right direction because, they got Mark. Is it Mike Stoops or Mark Stoops? But it's Bob Stoops' brother from Oklahoma, the old Oklahoma coach, and he can get some recruits in there for sure. And he's a good coach, so I mean, I can see them having some good seasons coming up.
For
But
real, man, because like the last good season Kentucky really had as a football program, that was like when like in like late 1990s when it was like an actually top team, and that was back when Tennessee was really good as a football team in college.
yeah,
So it's like they definitely gonna have good seasons next year and like in the years on because like they are got a good core of
yeah,
recruits that they have come in and everything too. So it actually be good for the program and everything too. So
and I think they could
and then
really build it because a lot of the top recruits they want to play in the SEC. They want to play that top competition week to week, and
for
it's a
real
good
though.
place to be to build a football program for sure.
Exactly. And then on top of that, and the uniforms be clean though, man. Like the helmets,
Yeah,
the
when they get those silver
the
helmets,
chrome.
they be chrome and shit. It looks
Yep.
good.
For real though, man. Like that's what I'm saying. A lot of people want to come there because a lot of recruits they always go to the schools that have a lot of uniform combinations. So when the team is actually doing good, it makes all this different like accessories and all these necessities here, actually look good for the Nike program because since Kentucky runs with Nike and everything, they got all these uniform combos that they can win each season, have a good season, might go undefeated. It's gonna look good for the football program. You
Yep.
feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like, and speaking of uniforms, man, man, Oregon, man, like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, they won some bowl games, but we need an actual national championship from them. That's what
Yeah.
we looking forward to. I mean, they got all the uniforms, but
Yeah. They
we
made
need
a
to see some
couple,
national
but
championships.
I think they made 2 national championships. They lost them both in the past 10 years or so. It was
Yep,
both early in the decade though. I know one when they had
for
Mariota
real.
and
Yep, that was the year when they played Cardale Jones and the Buckeyes in
yeah,
2014,
that was a
and they
good
lost.
year of football.
Yeah, it was, man. Like shit, cause like you had like you had like NFL prospects that was gonna look like superstars. You feel me? You had like Mariota. Who else was on Oregon, man? They had a lot of running backs, man.
Uh,
They had like
that
I
wasn't when they
think
had
that
DeAnthony
Michael Jones.
Thomas, was it? That was a couple years before. Was that? Did they
Yep.
have DeAnthony
Yeah.
Thomas that year too?
Yeah, I think he was on the team. I
That team
think he was on
stacked
the
then.
team
I couldn't imagine having to tackle Mariota and DeAnthony Thomas in the same. That
for real though,
that's
fam.
crazy.
So like, bro, let me tell you something. Like for that particular year, I think like yeah, they playing a Rose Bowl versus Florida State. They literally looked unstoppable in that game because they was
Yeah.
too fast for Florida State. So I'm thinking like, yeah, they should beat Ohio State. I don't think they could beat them. And
Yeah,
then
they
they
played
lost. You
great
feel what I'm
against
saying?
Jameis Winston and the Florida State, they just won the championship the year before that, so it was very impressive
Right.
going into that Ohio State championship game.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, man, because like with all the uniform, this is what I would definitely like to see. Like it would be see to just like see Oregon like, win like multiple championships and all them different uniforms that they got, because like they always add more uniforms each year, and I feel like, man, they need to chill out with the uniforms. Like just win that. This be crazy because they got over like 100 uniform combinations that you could put anything together. So it's like, imagine winning like all these 100 national championships with all the uniform combos that they had. That'd be crazy, bro.
They would.
They did that shit every year.
I know they came out with some weird looking uniforms. I mean, they might have too much to where they're starting to not look too good anymore. I mean, they had the ones. I wasn't a huge fan of them. I mean, it kind of looked like geese shit. Like, I don't know. It was like it was called a spotted egg, duck egg or something. I don't know. I didn't like them though. I liked a lot of their when they do the yellow with the green numbers, like all yellow jersey, yellow pants, green number. That's clean.
Yep. Yeah, I think the spotted egg one you're talking about is the one they wore against UCLA.
Yeah.
I think they wore it against them. But man, like shit, it's crazy though, man. Like because like they'd be one of the teams that you would love to see like actually win national championships.
Yeah.
Because like they're such a likable team. You feel what I'm saying? And like Alabama's like the polar opposite. A lot of folks don't like them.
Yeah, I mean, I look for Oregon for their next quarterback they bring in to be a good quarterback because they had Mariota and then they had Herbert, both really good, and then I don't think Anthony Brown's going to lead them to a championship. I mean, they have a great defense and they got Kayvon Thibodeau, who's a game changer, but I don't think they can win the championship with Anthony Brown, especially if they have to go against the Georgia defense. Like, I don't think he can get it done.
Yeah, for real though, man. Like, and it's interesting too because like, yo, man, like, I think like they get like their right quarterback. I think like cause Archie, I think it's like named Archie Manning. I think Archie Manning's in Newman High School right now.
Yeah, Peyton and Eli's nephew.
Yeah, just imagine if he go to Oregon and like he got all that extra training in with the Manning brothers, so he already getting that extra time in like honing the quarterback skills. So if he go to Oregon and like man, he can take them like leagues beyond like to actually get a national championship. You feel me?
I think that would be a good place for him, but I'm pretty sure he's probably going to stay in the Southeast somewhere.
Yep.
He's going to go, I mean, I know he visited with Texas and Ole Miss, Alabama, and Georgia, of course. So
yeah, I would like to see him go to Texas A&M. I would like to see
that
him
would
go
be
to
nice.
Texas A&M.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. Especially with the team they got, that'd be crazy, man.
I mean, it would be a good story for him if he could actually go to Texas and bring Texas back, because they always say Texas is back. They said it this year.
Yeah.
And then they lost. They blew like 3 fourth quarter leads in a row this year. Just
they blew a lot of leads, man. Like they did to like the Raging Cajuns in the Sun Belt, Oklahoma, man. Yeah, man. Like it's gonna be wild for Texas to get back though. But shit, man. Like
I mean, maybe Archie Manning can bring Texas back. That might be their only hope, right there.
Yep. For real though, man. For real. And it's like, shoot, man. I tell you, man. Like, because like the whole SEC, man. Like, bro, it's like if any SEC team can get them like Ole Miss or Kentucky or Texas A&M, man, bro.
Even Tennessee
boy,
could see.
Man, even
Yeah.
them, bro, even them, son.
You go
Like
to Peyton school.
yep, man. Cause like Tennessee, man, like they a real confusing team. It's like they can show that they can keep up, but at the same time, it's like they just they a team I really cannot describe. You feel what I'm saying? I just
They're
know that
good
they lose a lot.
offensively. I mean, ever since they put Hooker in over Joe Milton, who's trash. But yeah, I mean, they got Georgia this week. That's going to be funny. I mean,
Yeah,
they're playing in the new
and that's
Heinz
a rivalry
Field.
game
Heinz
too,
Field
man.
is no longer
That's
in
a,
Pittsburgh. It's in Knoxville because they be throwing mustard on the field.
oh, see, I didn't even know that because I knew Steelers had Heinz Field for many years
Yeah.
due
Well,
to the NFL
it's
and
not
everything.
really.
So.
Just joking. Because they be throwing mustard on the field, and that's the new Heinz Field right there.
Oh yeah, I see what you went with that. I see because man, like shit, they do be goofing up the joint though, man. Like shit, like and it's crazy too because man, like Tennessee, man, like they had a season like a couple years before where they was actually doing pretty good. Like they had like comeback wins in the fourth quarter with Josh Dobbs and all them dudes.
Yeah.
They get Hail Mary victories over Florida and Georgia.
Man, I forgot about Josh Dobbs. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think he was in the NFL too. I think the last team he played on was like the Steelers, but they don't really give him no minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he's supposed to be the replacement for Big Ben and all them. And
Yeah, they
that's
got a couple
and
guys
he's
in
a
there.
good quarterback.
They still got Rudolph. They picked up Dwayne Haskins, pretty sure too. The Steelers got a couple
Yeah,
guys
so
in there who can take over
yeah,
for
so they
Big
got
Ben.
like three guys over there. You feel what I'm saying? So they got three guys that can actually lead the team. It's just it's just like who they gonna like actually like work the players around them with. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
to utilize their full potential.
Because
So
they
that'll
got a
be
good
interesting to see.
offense. They just I don't think Big Ben is too good anymore. He
Yeah,
makes good
yeah, he need to
decisions. He's
retire.
just old.
Yeah, yeah, I think he needed to just retire, man. He had great seasons in the NFL, but
Yeah.
it's time to hang it up.
It's time to
But
give
shit,
somebody
man.
else a shot. Cause yeah.
Yeah, cause it's crazy too,
But
and
whoever
like
steps in there,
speaking of
they got a
Oklahoma,
lot of weapons with Najee Harris and Juju and Chase Claypool. They got a lot of weapons there, and even Deontay Johnson, he's pretty good too.
for real, man, and like those three players you name, man, that's the reason why like Notre Dame was good for like a couple years because of Clay Chasepool and all them. Chase
Yeah,
Claypool, it was good because of him. And like even Notre Dame like rank number 7. Like when I was looking at the standings and everything too, they were still number 7. Like even with that one loss and everything. But
that's real
you
good for
feel me?
Cincinnati. Cincinnati is rooting for Notre Dame right now.
Yeah. I
Cincinnati
mean, shit,
wants
it's
Notre
crazy
Dame
too,
to win
man.
out.
Yep. Cause like cause I'm looking at the games, man. Like so we got number 1 Georgia versus Tennessee. I mean, you can only hope. For Cincinnati, they can only hope for an upset. They can only hope. It's gonna be hard as heck for Tennessee to pull it off, but they can do it because they understand that this is a conference rival, and like they got really so they realize they got to come and show up and just like make sure like they make it seem like they not haven't really had a failed season. They're gonna try to make it close, but
Yeah,
Georgia probably gonna win that game like 75% chance, and I give Tennessee like at least I get Tennessee like at least the lower percents to win, but I think they could do it. But that'd be
I
crazy
think
though,
that
man.
I'm
One
not
thing we
sure
never
what the
seen.
spread is on that game. I think Tennessee could cover. I don't see them winning, but they have a good offense. I just don't know how good their offense is going to be against Georgia's defense. but
For
I'd
real
have to
though,
look at the
because
spread. I
we
think
all
that
know.
they could probably cover because I'm guessing the spread is probably big.
Yeah, because like man, because it's crazy though, man. Because like, I mean, if it's any upsets that needs to happen for Cincinnati to actually get a clear playoff chance to get in, I mean, they would need it now, especially like they counting on certain games. They definitely need it versus they. I think Ohio State ranked above them, or they like below Cincinnati.
No, Ohio State's at 4 right now, and Cincinnati's at 5.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah,
so if any team that got a high chance to do it, man, I definitely look at Purdue to be able to beat Ohio
yeah.
State.
I think that that's
So that way,
definitely the most possible upset as far as for the top 4 teams this week.
yep. Cause
Purdue,
man, like,
I mean, they need to come out like how they did against Michigan State because they played great. And I think they have been pretty consistent on defense all year, but they need that consistency on offense.
yeah, for real. I mean, if they get that consistency on offense, man, like, that'd be tough to beat for sure.
Yeah,
That'd be definitely tough to beat. Because like I actually, just like I said, like it would be interesting if Purdue was an actual consistent team. I actually want to see how they would play against like a Georgia or something like that. That would be
yeah.
a fun game to see
They did
because I feel
struggle
like the team.
against teams with good defenses, like Wisconsin. Wisconsin has a really good defense, and they lost to them. But Wisconsin, the offense just isn't that good. So they do
Yeah,
struggle against teams with good defenses because they can't really run the ball that well. They're a great passing offense, but
yeah. I mean, shoot, we like we seen that when Purdue was passing on Michigan State in Iowa. So passing game good. I feel like if they can get a running game established next season, you feel me? Or they can like find something to work with the guys they do have.